There's a huge misconception out there in the business world that nobody reads books anymore. And because of this, the thought of investing time and money and energy into writing a book is just a waste of time. And that is simply not true. I've been in this industry for over 30 years, and I can tell you firsthand that a great book can scale your business like no other marketing strategy can. If you want to learn more, I've included a link to the Profitable Business Author book below, where I tell you the exact method that has worked for some of our most successful entrepreneurial clients in their fields. So what's the big deal about books? Why is it so important to write a good book? Well, let me ask you a question. When you were a kid, what was the first big kid job that you had to learn to do? The first really big task that was probably a little bit challenging at first, but you were really, really excited about it, and your parents made you want to do it, and your teachers made you want to do it, and your grandparents, maybe your big brother or your big sister was trying to help you with it. It wasn't learning to ride a bike, it was learning to read. Reading was stressed in your household. I can almost guarantee it. Every one of us had to learn how to read. And what did we read? We read books. We didn't read YouTube captions. We didn't read Facebook posts. We read books. That's what we're taught to read with. So because of that, we are ingrained with the knowledge that books are important. Books are important, and authors are special. Some of our favorite people when we were growing up as little children were those beloved authors who just spoke to us and made us laugh and drew beautiful pictures. Dr. Seuss and Richard Scarry and all of these authors who were just so wonderful. And as we grew up, we had more authors who were special to us. Beverly Cleary, Judy Blume. There's so many wonderful authors. What did we learn from that? We learned that books are important. We learned that authors are special people. They're special. We are so excited. When we get older, we have to learn the authors by name. We need to learn Shakespeare and Edgar Allan Poe. We were told by our teachers that they were important and we needed to know their names. So authors were special. It's ingrained in us. And then what did we learn? We went through school and we learned writing, and we wrote papers, and we did term papers, and maybe we wrote poetry, and maybe we had to write short stories. But we learned that writing is hard work. It's serious work. It's homework. It's an assignment. It's something that's going to be graded and judged by a teacher. That's a horrible way to think about writing, but it's what we've learned. Again, it's ingrained in us. Books are important, authors are special, and writing is hard. And if you have ever tried to write a book, if you've ever tried to sit down and write a book because you know that it could help grow your business or it could help expand your credibility, and you tried to write it and it just didn't work, for whatever reason, you stopped at the beginning, or you just wrote an outline and you kept revising the outline and you never got past that stage. Or maybe you wrote an entire manuscript, but you're afraid to show it to anybody. Whatever it is, it confirmed that bias that writing is hard. Now, everybody wants to write a book. I mean, I don't want to say everybody, but there's some study out there in the world that's like 80% of people who were asked in America, they all said, I have a book in me. I want to write a book. I'm starting a book. I'm writing a book. But there's a tiny fraction of people who actually manage the feat. They actually write a book. So what does that mean? That means that becoming an author, because remember, authors are special. Becoming an author, we know it's hard. We know writing is hard. That's been ingrained in us from school. That means that whoever actually does it is raised up as someone who is really special. If you've written a book and I haven't written a book, and you have a business attached to that book and I need that business, I am going to naturally believe someone who's written a book. If there's two businesses that I am considering working with and I don't know anything more about them and I don't have any prior relationship with them, I'm going to go to the business with an author at the helm. I'm going to go to the business who has made it to that point where they actually wrote a book that was important, and they actually are an author who is special and who overcame how hard it is to write a book. So that writing and that being an author automatically increases your credibility and your positioning in the marketplace. It automatically puts you above the people who don't have books, who aren't authors, even if they've been in business longer than you, even if they actually know more than you or they have more experience than you. That doesn't matter in the eyes of somebody who's looking for solutions. In the eyes of your clients and customers, they want to talk to the author because authors are special. Another thing I want to talk about is that books are passed around 9 times before they just sort of disappear off the planet. That means that you've got exponential reach and visibility inside your niche or your industry just because you have a book. You might know who bought that book. You might be able to run someone through a funnel and collect their name and email address, and you know exactly who bought that book. Most of the time, you have no idea who bought that book. But even if you did, you might know that first person, but you don't know the other 8 people who end up reading that book. You don't know who picked it up on an airplane. You don't know who found it at the library. You don't know who passed it on to their sister or gave it to their uncle as a birthday present. So when you actually write your book in a way that brings people in to your business, you can reach people that might never find you any other way. So having your own book really does raise your position in the marketplace. Now, if you'd like help becoming one of the few, the proud, the authors, those people who are special, if you're ready to be more visible in your market, I'd love to help you out. Just click the links below and access some of my resources and start increasing your visibility and expanding the reach for your business right now.